Hello, YouTubers and friends. I don't know, people who search for random trans videos. Sup. This is my 15 weeks on testosterone video. Oh my god. But really, like, oh my god. I really can't explain how happy I am in like words. It's just really overwhelming all the time because I'm just like, oh my god, all this is changing and this is great. And then I don't know, it's just really, really cool. My voice has obviously gotten a lot lower, deeper, whatever you want to say. I'm growing more hair. Like my stomach is covered in hair now. My arms have started to grow like black arm hair as opposed to like this light blonde that I've grown almost my entire life. My thighs had basically no hair on them when I started, and they're now getting pretty covered. I'm growing a pretty large amount of peach fuzz on my face, on the sides of my face, and then where here is, I have like one black hair, but a bunch of peach fuzz. So, mustache. I don't know if I necessarily want to grow a mustache. I just want to be able to grow a mustache. I feel like that's just, I don't know. That's just a thing to want to do. I don't know. That happened. So yeah, my voice sounds like this. Hair, as always. I went to the doctor on Monday, and it was like my second round of going to the doctor just to do my blood work and stuff, so I'm like waiting for my test results, and if there's no problems with it, I go back in December. I think on December 15th is when I made my appointment, so that's kind of cool. I asked him, the few things I did notice that were really problematic was my like overall demeanor and like mood and like attitude. It was just really negative for a while, and everything kind of like felt like it was closing in. And he basically told me that I went through menopause. Testosterone is a more powerful hormone than estrogen, and basically most of the estrogen in my body is either gone or the small amount won't change anything. Like I stopped having my period like over 2 months ago. You can hear my voice, and hair and all that stuff. So it's different. It was a struggle. It's weird being able to relate to like older ladies in that way for a little while, to be like, I don't understand how you people do this. But like I'm glad it's over. So that's the last of that. I don't know. That was kind of cool to hear. I'm glad some people go through that. Some women go through that stage of their life for like 10 years, and I went through it for like 2 weeks. So it took a good like 8 weeks though to fully adjust and to get where I am now, which is happy. I'm not saying that I wasn't necessarily happy with this process. It was just like hard to like show that or like display that. It was rough for a little while, and kind of sucked. So you do what you gotta do. I don't know. Let's see. In other news, I'm kind of a little irritated with some paperwork at my school, and so I'm working on changing it. The problem basically lies in wording. So if I had to fill out a form about my passport, and I had to write like my passport number and like who's your roommate, who do you want to room with on the trip, and all this other stuff, and I haven't legally changed my sex on my ID or my passport yet. I really want to be able to afford to change my name, which is about $300. So I haven't done that yet. So it's kind of like, I just want to wait, I want to have the money, I want to do this all at once. But when I was filling out the passport form for the school asked me what my gender is. What your passport displays is what your sex is. So I filled it out according to my gender. I guess being someone who is transgender makes it really easy to be like, oh hey, this is what I identify with. When I put that down in my selection, I got an email from the dean of student affairs at my school that I had to meet with him and one of the people who are in charge of like the trip. So I went down there to actually say I couldn't meet with him at the time he wanted to reschedule, and he was like, oh, we'll just talk now. And to sum up the meeting, basically he asked me what, if anything had changed, like if I had it changed, and if not, you know, why I filled it out. Like, and I was like, well, you see, my passport says my sex. My sex is, until recently, now that you can change it by law, had always been like your reproductive organs. That's how I look at it. Your sex is your reproductive organs. It's what you're born with. Like, okay. You don't have to agree with it. It's just what you have right now. So that's what your sex is. That's what's on my passport. It says sex. You asked me what my gender was, and my gender is an identity. It's not a, you know, it's how I feel in my head and how I look at myself in the mirror. And it's not a, like, it's not two things. It's a whole bunch of things. And basically he said that they were using the terms interchangeably, and that's just how it is. And they were worried about like me traveling to France, and like I get that, and I'm like understanding of the fact that you need records to match, but you need to match, like you have to be correct about it. Like what it is what it is. You can't just say choose a gender when it's my sex on my passport, then you're not being correct anyway. So long story short, I emailed someone else who I was supposed to meet with. I told them what happened. I tried to be as polite as possible, but also being a little assertive that sex and gender were not the same thing, and I really like to see this change. Like, I really need this form to be changed. And I never got an email back. So I started talking to teachers, and I started being like, hey, look, you know what's been going on. I need to tell you what happened. What can I do? How do I do this? And one of my teachers, probably my favorite person on the planet currently, because I don't know, always a very inspiring teacher to me, just said get up and took me straight into the dean's office, and there was no deans there, but we eventually did get to talk to some deans, and by the end of that day I had an email from one of the people in charge of the form that said, we changed the form with an asterisk, which I'm still not happy about, but the fact that my little, like, I'm going to go get everybody on your butt, kind of did something is moving to me. Like, I don't know. I was offended. I'm not gonna lie, but I know there's people in worse situations than I am, and I know there's people at my school who are going through the similar issues, or may have gone through them already, who don't need to relive that, who don't need to be put back in a closet, or like, I don't want to fill out that form according to my gender if I have to write something that I don't agree with. Like, that's not fair. And it's not like the 1700s, and you need to grow up and understand that this is the world we live in now. So I'm hoping that I can get the form completely changed, but you know, I'm willing to do what I gotta do to do it. The next goal is bathrooms. That's something I've wanted since I came back from extern. I kind of took time off that plan, but I just want to see it. Like, I want to see it before I leave. I want to make that impact that I can here, from getting my voice heard and being able to talk to so many people and be like, hey, this is like, liberal arts teachers are like, hey, that's great, but I'm at a culinary school. I'm with classically trained French chefs. Like, who are like older and don't have education on it. So at least get them educated. That's all I'm asking. They don't have to necessarily agree with me or you know, be like, why did I have to do this? But you do. You can't teach 18-year-old people if you don't know anything, like if you can't keep up with the times. Like, how am I supposed to relate to someone who thinks the world's like black and white anymore? It's just not gonna work. So I really want to see that change, and hopefully the other ones I can work on. They're really important to me too. Having gender neutral bathrooms would just be like a great moment. I mean, there's so many colleges and universities and even like high schools that have them. Like, why don't we have them here? You know, you pride yourself on being diverse, and it just doesn't happen. Yeah, that's my rant. So I'm working on that. Those are the things I'm currently focusing on that are in the community of trans people, just people in general. The other thing I'm working on is I'm working on a website. Not to sound like totally conceited or awkward, but it is for myself. I really want to put myself out there as someone who wants to talk about being trans. I can now, like, being 15 weeks on testosterone, sounding the way I sound, dressing the way I dress, and always dressed, and doing what I do, like, I have literally had to tell people, and they're like, wait, what? And that's really cool, and that's really awesome, but for me, I still want to make that impact, and I want people to know that, you know, there's people like us out there. I'm not saying every trans person has to stand up and identify themselves. You do what's most comfortable for you and how you want to be, but I have a voice, and I think it's best to make a difference. So I'm going to have hopefully a link for that up in a few, I hope a week, but I'm still working on it. So yeah. Also, awesome things. My Ecology of Food project for this semester, I'm going to try to market and sell. Maybe, like, hey, I'm not going to tell you guys what it was because I don't want y'all stealing my idea. Not that it wasn't even, like, I have a lot of people to thank for helping put this idea in my head, so, yeah. That's pretty much it. So 15 weeks, trying to make some changes where they can be made, and I guess I was out before I made this video, and someone asked me to sing because they were like, oh, your voice, you gotta sing, and it was really awkward and weird, but just to give you a little taste of how low my voice is now, and I can't even go that high anymore. It's weird, and I don't like it because I can't make funny noises. But okay, this is so weird. This is just awkward and weird, and I don't know. I'm like changing my mind. Okay, I'll just do it anyway. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. Yeah. So. Things are changing, so that's what I sound like now. This is like one of the longest videos I ever made, so if you made it to the end of this, cool. If you didn't, you don't know that I said this, but maybe try a little harder next time. Maybe watch the thing. Maybe I'm a little bit entertaining. I don't really know. I don't really feel like I'm that entertaining. Alright, have a wonderful evening, and hopefully I'll make another video soon and update you on any changes that have been made.